Before we begin this story, I want you to remember something very important. Kindness is a gift, but it must be given with wisdom. Not everyone you help will love you. Not everyone you feed will bless you. Sometimes, the same person you save might be the one planning your downfall. So as you listen to this story, keep this in mind. Help people, yes, but never close your eyes while doing it. Stay alert, stay prayerful, stay wise. Please do me a small favor, hit that subscribe button and join our family. Your support means the world to me and helps me share more amazing stories like this with you. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's dive into the story. Lagos was a city that never slept. The roads were always busy, the markets were full of voices, and everywhere you turned, there was life, pure Nigerian life. In the middle of this noisy, powerful city, there lived a woman named UC. Some people called her Angel of Lagos, while others simply said, "That woman is too good." UC was the kind of woman who could light up a room just by walking in. She had a soft voice, a calm smile, and a big heart. If you needed help, UC was the one to run to. Whether it was a hungry child, a pregnant woman stranded at the bus stop, or an old beggar sitting in the sun, UC would stop, talk, and give. People wondered, how can someone so rich be this humble? Yes, UC was rich. Very rich. But not by her own power. She had married a man, Mr. Solomon, a billionaire businessman with money in both Nigeria and abroad. From Lekki to Dubai, from Abuja to London, Mr. Solomon's name rang bells in the business world. Yet, even with all his wealth, he remained humble, especially when it came to his wife. He loved UC deeply. Not just because of her beauty, but because of the kind of woman she was. Every morning before he left for his office in Victoria Island, he would kiss her forehead and say, "Thank you for choosing me." And every evening when he returned, he would bring her flowers, perfumes, or something special, just to see her smile. UC didn't let the riches get into her head. She still went to the market herself. She still went to church every Sunday at House of Glory International Church in Ikeja. She still helped her neighbors. She ran a charity that gave food to poor widows every first Saturday of the month. The woman was simply a blessing to Lagos. Their home was a mansion in Banana Island. Tall gates, white walls, flowers lined the walkways, and birds sang in the morning breeze. Inside, everything sparkled, but it was not just the house that was beautiful. The peace inside the house was the real treasure. UC and Mr. Solomon laughed together, cooked together, prayed together. They didn't have children yet, but they believed it would come in God's time. "As long as I have you," Mr. Solomon would say, "I have joy." Their staff loved them. The housemaids, the drivers, the gatemen, even the security man who stood by the gate every night, they all respected the couple. UC treated her workers like family. She celebrated their birthdays, helped them with rent, and even paid for one maid's school fees. Yes, life was sweet for UC. Every corner of Lagos knew her name, not because she shouted or showed off, but because her kindness echoed louder than a megaphone. And she was always smiling. Madam Smile, the neighborhood children called her. But as they say in Yoruba, translation, we may be walking on water and not know there's a storm following us. UC had no idea that something dark was coming. That one single act of kindness would open the door for evil to enter her peaceful home. But for now, all she saw was light. All she gave was love. And all she received was joy. If you ever passed by UC's mansion on a Saturday morning, you would smell fried plantain and fresh tomato stew in the air. That was UC in the kitchen, wearing a simple wrapper and singing one of her favorite worship songs. Yes, despite her wealth, UC cooked for her husband with her own hands. Even when the cook was around, she loved to enter the kitchen herself and prepare her husband's best meals. Love is not about money, she would say, it's about care and sacrifice. And Mr. Solomon, he was the kind of husband every woman prayed for. Tall, calm, handsome, with a deep baritone voice and gentle eyes. Though he was a billionaire, he never looked down on anyone. His drivers could joke with him. His gatemen could laugh with him. He treated everyone with dignity. But it was UC who brought out the softest part of him. Every time he looked at her, he saw his peace. He used to tell his business partners, "All this money means nothing if my home is not in order. My wife is my balance." People said the way UC and Solomon loved each other was like something from a Nollywood movie, but it was real. They went on vacations together. Sometimes to Cattle Ranch, sometimes to Dubai. They would walk hand in hand, take selfies, and giggle like teenagers. Even when they were at home, Mr. Solomon would surprise UC with random gifts. One evening, he returned home from a business trip and said, "Close your eyes." UC giggled. "Ha, what is it this time?" He dropped a small box in her hand. When she opened it, her eyes widened. Inside was a gold wristwatch with her name engraved in tiny letters, "To my queen, UC." "Oh my God, Solomon," she whispered. He smiled. "You've made my life beautiful. This is nothing compared to what you deserve." And that was how they lived day after day. Love, peace, laughter. Their Sunday mornings were sacred. They would dress in matching clothes and go to church in their black Prado Jeep. At House of Glory International Church, everyone knew them. They never sat in the front row, even though they were rich. They preferred to sit in the middle, quietly listening to the Word of God. Sometimes after service, they would take out one or two struggling families for lunch at a nearby restaurant. Once, UC noticed a single mother with two children sitting outside church looking sad. She walked up to the woman and said, "Please come with us." The woman's eyes widened. "Me? Yes. Let's eat together." That's who UC was. And Mr. Solomon supported every single kind thing she did. He never stopped her. Instead, he always said, "When you give, we grow." Don't stop. At home, their staff worked happily because the atmosphere was full of joy. The cook danced while making food. The gardener whistled as he watered the plants. The maids smiled while doing laundry. Their marriage was an example. People prayed to have what they had. But as perfect as their love was, they never imagined that one single act of kindness would soon bring pain to their doorstep. A pain that would hide behind fake smiles and gentle words. But that was still in the future. For now, the mansion was peaceful, the love was strong, and the laughter was loud. Life was sweet, too sweet. It was a Sunday afternoon in Lagos. UC had just finished service at House of Glory International Church. She stepped out in her beautiful white and gold lace dress, holding her Bible close to her chest. Her head tie was neatly wrapped, and her perfume followed her wherever she passed. She greeted people with a smile as she walked toward her car. The driver opened the door, and UC entered with grace. "Let's go home," she said. As they drove through busy road, the traffic was building. But it wasn't the usual Sunday jam. Something was wrong. Cars were honking, and people were shouting. Then UC saw it. A young lady was lying on the main road, not moving. Her dress was torn, her leg was bleeding, and one of her shoes was missing. People were standing around, taking pictures, but no one was helping. "Driver, stop," UC shouted. "Madam, a beg no go there." "Oh," the driver warned. "Might be set up." But UC had already opened the door and rushed out. She knelt beside the girl. "Hello? Can you hear me?" The girl groaned faintly. Her eyes opened and closed slowly. She was in pain, clearly. "Somebody help me," UC shouted to the crowd. "This girl needs a hospital." A man laughed from the crowd. "Who knows whether nah fake accident. I know they touched that one." UC shook her head sadly. "God, why is the world like this?" Without waiting for help, UC called her husband. "Solomon, I just saw a girl on the road. She had an accident. No one wants to help. I'm taking her to the hospital now." "Be careful," Solomon replied. "Take her to our private hospital at Victoria Garden. I will meet you there." And just like that, UC helped the bleeding girl into her car. Her white dress became stained with blood, but she didn't care. The driver sped off, and in 20 minutes, they reached the hospital. Nurses came running out. They took the girl in and began treatment immediately. UC sat in the waiting room, praying. She didn't even know the girl's name. All she knew was that someone needed help, and God had placed her there at the right time. Later that evening, a doctor walked out. "She's stable now, the leg is fractured, but she will recover." "Thank God you brought her in on time." UC smiled. "Can I see her?" The doctor nodded. Inside the room, the girl was awake. She looked at UC with confusion. "Why did you help me?" she whispered weakly. UC smiled. "Because you needed help, that's all that matters." Tears rolled down the girl's cheeks. "Nobody has ever done this for me. Not even my own mother." UC held her hand gently. "Don't worry, you're safe now. You will be fine." The girl nodded slowly. "My name is Ella, and I'm UC, she replied. "Rest, well we talk later." Ella was still at the private hospital in Victoria Garden City. Her leg was in a cast, and nurses were helping her move around. But something was clear: she had no one. No family came to check on her. No friend showed up. UC visited her every day. She brought food, clothes, even books to keep Ella company. One day, UC asked gently, "Where are your people?" Ella sighed. "I came to Lagos looking for work. I don't have anyone here. And my parents are in the village, we don't talk much." UC looked at her, confused. "Why?" Ella wiped a tear. "Long story, Ma, but I've been on my own since 18 years was." UC felt her heart break. That night, UC told Mr. Solomon everything. They were sitting in their soft couch in the living room, enjoying a cup of tea. "She has nobody, Solomon. She's all alone." Mr. Solomon looked thoughtful. "So, what are you suggesting?" UC smiled. "Let her come home. Just for a few weeks until she can walk properly." Solomon leaned back. "If that's what you want, my queen, then we'll do it." UC kissed his hand. "Thank you." The next day, she arrived at the hospital with a warm smile. "Ella, you're coming home with me." Ella's eyes widened. "Me? To your house?" "Yes. Just until you're strong enough. Don't argue." Ella cried again. "God bless you, Ma. I don't even know what to say. Say thank you and get ready." The day Ella arrived, the mansion staff lined up to welcome her. The cook, the driver, the gateman, and 2 housemaids all greeted her with smiles. "Welcome, Ma," they said. Mr. Solomon stepped out and shook her hand gently. "Feel at home, Ella." Ella was surprised. The house was huge: white walls, large windows, expensive tiles. Her mouth stayed open as UC showed her around. "This is your room," UC said, opening a door with soft yellow curtains and a big bed. "If you need anything, just press this bell." Ella touched the soft bed. "I've never slept on a bed like this before." "Well," UC smiled, "now you will." That night, she was treated like family. She sat at the dinner table with everyone. She ate grilled fish and jollof rice, served in a silver dish. She even laughed a little when Mr. Solomon told a funny story about how he once got lost in market. Everything felt too good to be true. UC is too kind, Ella thought to herself. But even on that first night, a small seed of jealousy began to grow in her heart. She watched how Mr. Solomon looked at UC with so much love, so much honor. She watched how he pulled out her chair, served her food, and rubbed her shoulders after dinner. And for some reason, it made her feel bitter. "Why can't I have a man like this?" she whispered to herself in the bathroom mirror. Still, she smiled politely, said thank you every chance she got, and continued healing in UC's beautiful home. But inside her, something dark was forming. Ella's leg was healing fast. She was now able to walk slowly with the help of a stick. Every day, UC checked on her, made sure she was eating well, and even taught her small Bible verses in the evening. "God saved your life for a reason," UC would say. Ella nodded politely, but deep inside her heart, she felt something else. She still couldn't stop thinking about how lucky UC was. Beautiful house, good husband, respect, everything. One Saturday morning, UC came into Ella's room with a big smile. "Guess what?" UC said. "What?" Ella asked, sitting up. "We're going to the salon together today. You need to fix that hair, I beg." She laughed. Ella smiled. "Really?" "Yes, now. You're my sister already. Let's go." They went to a top salon in Lekki Phase 1. Ella got her hair braided with extensions, while UC chose a simple Ghana weaving. They laughed with the stylists, drank cold zobo, and snapped pictures together. After the salon, they entered ShopRite to buy snacks and drinks. People stared at them, thinking they were sisters. Ella loved the attention. For the first time in a long while, she felt like somebody. Not a beggar, not a nobody, but a woman with beauty, style, and value. That night, UC posted their photo on Instagram with the caption, "Grateful for this journey called sisterhood." Ella saw the post and smiled. But then she looked at the picture again. She saw how Mr. Solomon had commented, "My beautiful wife and her twin. Love you both." That comment made her chest feel tight. Later that evening, as they sat in the living room watching a Nollywood movie, Ella turned to UC. "Ma, can I ask you something?" "Of course, my dear. Why does your husband love you so much?" UC laughed. "Because I respect him. I support him. And we pray together." Ella nodded slowly. "Is that all?" UC looked at her, smiling. "That's everything, my dear." But Ella didn't smile back. She was thinking, So if I do what she does, can I get what she has? Over the next few days, UC started calling Ella her best friend. They cooked together, prayed together, even went for evening walks in the compound. Mr. Solomon noticed how happy UC was with Ella around. My wife is glowing, he said one night. She's like a younger sister to me, UC replied. God sent her to us. Solomon nodded. Yes, but let's be careful too. Not everyone comes with good intentions. UC smiled. She's harmless. I can feel it. But Mr. Solomon wasn't so sure. Everything looked peaceful from outside. UC and Ella had become best friends. They dressed alike, took selfies together, and laughed at jokes nobody else understood. Even the housemaids started calling them Madam and Mini Madam. But something was wrong, deep inside Ella. She had tasted a sweet life she never had before: soft bed, AC in every room, fine clothes, makeup kits, perfume from Dubai. She had eaten things she never imagined: seafood okra, coconut rice with turkey, fresh juice every morning. And the love between Mr. Solomon and UC, that one was just too much for her. She watched them closely. Every time Mr. Solomon came back from work, he would hug UC tight and kiss her forehead. My queen, he would whisper. How was your day? Ella would smile on the outside. But inside, she was angry. Why her? Why not me? One morning, UC was in her home office doing some charity planning. Ella walked in with tea and smiled. Your green tea, my bestie. UC looked up and smiled. Ah, thank you, Jer. God bless you. They sat and began to gist. But Ella kept asking one strange question. Did you know Mr. Solomon before he became rich? Yes, now. We started from nothing. I was with him when he had only one small car. Ella blinked. And you never left him? No, why would I leave a man with vision? Ella laughed a little, but her heart was burning. If only I met him first, she thought. That night, after dinner, Mr. Solomon was outside talking on the phone. Ella walked toward him slowly, acting like she didn't know he was there. Good evening, sir, she said sweetly. Mr. Solomon smiled. Ella, how are you feeling now? Much better, sir. She sat beside him and looked up into the sky. Sir, I just want to say thank you for everything. You and your wife saved my life. He smiled again. We only did what's right. Then silence. Then Ella spoke again. Some women are lucky. UC is lucky. If I was in her shoes. Mr. Solomon turned to her slowly. What did you say? Ella smiled and shook her head. Nothing, sir. Good night. She stood up and walked away, moving her hips more than usual. Mr. Solomon just frowned and watched her go. Inside the house, UC was folding clothes. Ella walked in smiling. Your husband is so humble, even with all his money. UC smiled. That's why I love him. Ella smiled too, but with a different meaning in her heart. That night, Ella lay on her bed and stared at the ceiling. I must take her place, she whispered. I want this life. I want this man. I want this mansion. I will not go back to that suffering again. Never. And just like that, a dark thought entered her heart, and refused to leave. Night. She kept thinking of Mr. Solomon's smile, his voice, the way he always opened doors for his wife and carried her bag sometimes. This man is the perfect husband, she whispered. If only I can just enter his heart, everything will change. The next day, UC was invited to speak at a women's empowerment event in Ikeja. She dressed up in a gold lace gown and matching gel. Before she left, she told Ella, I will be back around. Ella couldn't believe what had just happened. After all her dressing, smiling, and even touching him, Mr. Solomon rejected her like she was nothing. She sat alone in her room, her face dark, her heart full of bitterness. You see this, you see that, UC is so perfect, UC is so kind. She threw her slippers across the room in anger. I hate her kindness, I hate her soft voice. She picked up her phone, looked at it, then dropped it again. I will remove UC from this house. I will remove her from Mr. Solomon's life. I don't care what it takes. The next day, Ella pretended like nothing happened. She started acting sweeter than usual, helping the cook in the kitchen, cleaning the living room, even making juice for UC when she returned from the spa. UC was happy. My dear Ella, I don't know how to thank you. Oh. You've become like a sister to me. Ella smiled and hugged her. You're my angel. But deep in her heart, she was sharpening her knife. She had made her decision, UC must die. That same week, the housemaid named Mariam was in the store arranging things when she heard a phone call. It was Ella. Maryam didn't mean to listen, but the door was open slightly. Ella was whispering on the phone, "How much for the poison? I don't want it to kill fast. It should look like sickness. Just 1 spoon inside. Food is enough, Abby." Maryam froze. She put her hand over her mouth. "Poison? For who?" Ella ended the call and walked away quickly. Maryam stood there shaking. Who is she trying to poison? Is it, Madam UC? She couldn't believe it. Maryam wanted to talk. She wanted to report. But who would believe her? Ella had already won everybody's heart. UC even called her my sister. Mr. Solomon respected her too. If Maryam spoke now, it might sound like jealousy. So, Maryam decided to keep quiet, but she began to watch carefully. And pray. Because she knew something very evil was about to happen. 3 days later, everything looked peaceful in the house. UC had just returned from her charity outreach in Abuja. She was tired but happy. "I can't believe we gave food to over 300 children today," she told Ella. Ella smiled sweetly and nodded. "You're doing God's work, my sister." But deep inside, her heart was hard like stone. Tonight, she will eat her last food. That evening, Ella entered the kitchen. The cook had already prepared dinner, a goosey soup, pounded yam, and peppered snails. Ella told the cook, "Don't worry, we serve dinner myself." Madam UC said I should do it. The cook believed her and left. When she was alone, Ella pulled out a small white bottle from her pocket. She opened the food plate meant for UC and poured the poison inside. Then she closed it back and gently stirred it so no one would notice. She smiled wickedly. "This is your last supper, UC." From the corner near the door, Maryam was watching. She had been following Ella quietly since morning. And now she had seen it with her own eyes. She ran to the back of the house and cried. "God, what should I do?" She whispered. "If I speak now, they might sack me. But if I don't talk, my madam will die." Suddenly, she stood up. She wiped her face. "I will speak. Even if they don't believe me, I must talk." That night, the family gathered at the dining table. UC came downstairs, dressed in her comfortable Ankara gown. She smiled and hugged her husband. Mr. Solomon said, "Wow, the food smells nice. Who served it?" "Ella did," UC replied. "She's been so helpful these days." Ella smiled. "I just want you to rest, sister." UC sat down and opened her plate. Just as she picked her spoon and was about to eat, Maryam ran into the room shouting, "Madam, please don't eat it. Don't eat that food. It has poison inside." Everyone froze. UC dropped her spoon in shock. "What?" Ella's face changed. "Don't mind that village girl. She's jealous of me." But Mr. Solomon stood up, eyes wide. "What are you saying, Maryam? Are you sure?" Maryam began to cry. "I saw her pour something inside Madam's soup. She thought no one was looking. Please, don't eat it. I swear, I saw it." UC turned to Ella. "Ella, is it true?" Ella was silent. Mr. Solomon walked slowly toward her. "Did you poison my wife's food?" Ella suddenly dropped to her knees. "I'm sorry, I was jealous, I wanted you to love me instead." UC gasped and covered her mouth in shock. Without saying a word, Mr. Solomon picked his phone. He called the police immediately. When Ella heard that, she tried to run out. But the gate security had already been alerted. Within minutes, police officers arrived and arrested Ella. They put her in handcuffs as she cried, "Please. I didn't mean to kill her. I just wanted her to leave the house." Mr. Solomon shouted, "You lived with us, ate with us, and tried to kill the woman who saved your life. You were wicked." UC looked at her with tears. "I trusted you." And that was the last time they saw Ella. That night was full of silence. UC sat in the living room with a big wrapper around her shoulders. She looked tired, but not because of stress, it was emotional pain. She kept repeating the same words. "How could she do this to me?" Mr. Solomon sat beside her. His eyes were red, and his fists were clenched. "I can't believe I brought a snake into my house. You saved her life, gave her food, welcomed her, and she wanted to kill you." UC shook her head slowly. "She even called me sister." UC had helped many people before, but none had tried to poison her. She kept thinking, what if Maryam didn't speak up? What if I had eaten that food? Tears dropped from her eyes. Mr. Solomon held her hand. "Thank God for Maryam. She saved your life." UC and Mr. Solomon called all the staff together in the living room. Maryam stood at the back, looking shy and afraid. She thought she might be sacked for shouting during dinner. But to her surprise, Mr. Solomon smiled at her and said, "Come forward, Miriam." She walked forward. UC held her hands and said, "You saved my life. You were brave. You risked everything to speak the truth. For that, I want to say thank you." Mr. Solomon brought out a small brown envelope and handed it to her. "This is 500,000 naira for you. And from today, you are no longer just a maid. You will now be our personal assistant. Your salary will double." Miriam fell on her knees and started crying. "Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ma. God bless you. Thank you for listening to this powerful story of kindness, betrayal, and courage. We learned so many important lessons from UC's journey. Kindness is a beautiful thing, but we must be wise with it. Not everyone we help will love us. Some people carry jealousy in their hearts. Always pay attention to the people around you. And sometimes, the lowest person in the house like a maid can be the biggest hero. UC could have died, but God used Miriam to save her. And in the end, truth won, and evil was defeated. Ella's betrayal was painful, but UC came out stronger, wiser, and even more blessed. So to everyone watching, keep doing good, but don't be blind, and never stop trusting your spirit when something feels wrong. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life inspired tales that touch your heart and teach powerful lessons. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Would you have forgiven Ella if you were UC? Let's hear from you. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the next big story coming soon. This is my channel name, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay wise, and stay kind. Thank you so much. Bye.